Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining again. It's Monday. I hope everyone had a great weekend. I know I did. I was in Palm Springs. Hadn't been there in a while. Got to relax and get some R&R and play some golf. So it was a great weekend for myself, but now I'm ready back for the hustle. I'm sure you guys are ready to do the same. So today we have a very special guest and a partnership, I should say. One of the things that we want to do here at Equity Smart Home Loans is make sure we're providing you guys with all the tools and resources you guys need to function and operate. And I had the great fortune of meeting a very talented gal by the name of Rachel Garcia, which I'll let her say something in a minute. Well, she's actually going to take over everything. She's going to talk to about how she's going to be able to support us and help us grow, right? Most of us on this call are residential loan officers, and but we do have customers, right? We do have customers that may own commercial property, they may own a commercial building, and that's what this topic is going to be about. How can we take advantage of commercial opportunities, right? I myself personally never wanted to really dive into commercial just because I felt like it was a whole different animal with a lot of different moving parts and just wanted to stay in my lane and always preferred to partner up with other loan officers that were really good in that niche in commercial, just because there's so many different types of properties you have, from gas stations to industrial to warehouses and they all come with different sets of guidelines, rules, and which means you'd have to learn a lot of stuff, right? And I'll let Rachel shed more light on that. So the last couple of months, we've been in talks with Rachel. She has a great company, CRE Capital, and what they do is they provide commercial broker services for their clients, right? And because we are in the residential lending space, I know a lot of us come across opportunities where we do have opportunities to work with some of our bars that, may own, aside from the house that we're helping them with, they may also own, a commercial building or something relevant to that. And we want to create this opportunity for us to be able to service those clients, right? And at the same time, not overwhelm ourselves. And I understand, with the way we set up Equity Smart Home Loans is you guys right now currently have the ability to do your own commercial deals, right? And when you come across them, I sometimes get calls and I start getting asked a lot of questions, and I'll be 100% transparent with you guys. I don't know much about commercial outside of residential. I know some residential because I've done some myself, but I just didn't want to make the personal investment because I was already doing really well in residential, right? Like I mentioned before. So we want to create that opportunity for you guys. And we've also went as far as building something out in the portal where you guys can submit your transactions or your scenarios. So without further ado, Rachel, I'd like to bring you in at this moment and just talk to the team and tell them what amazing things you can do for us and the team, and maybe get us not only interested in the commercial space, but I know you also have some coaching programs, and anyone that wants to dive a little deeper, and depending on how deep you want to get, you can talk to Rachel and she can definitely help you out with that. So I'll go ahead and give you the mic.
Thank you so much, Pablo. Super excited to be here and super excited to be partnered up. Pablo is amazing. In the time that I've met him, I mean, it's just been incredible. He has tremendous knowledge on the residential side, which I know nothing of. And so I have all the experience on the commercial side. So I'll just start by introducing myself. My name is Rachel Garcia, CEO and founder of CRE Capital. We've been in business for quite some time now, been in the industry for over about 14 years now. I was a direct lender for all three top banks. And I was with Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Chase, worked my way up the corporate ladder. And so one thing that I found is that we were always hitting a wall, right? When you're a direct lender, you only have really one option for your client. So it's either they fit that box or you can't do the deal at all. So what I did was I went to this big brokerage. I was there for a bit, and then that's when I figured, you know what? I want to build a company where I am able to be a resource to not just your A paper clients, meaning good credit, good,
I'm
good
just
cash
checking them
flow.
with SWBC, and if they ask me more questions, if
Yeah, I'm
Sorry.
sorry that I think someone didn't mute their mic. So again, just a reminder, friendly reminder, just to mute yourself so we don't get any background interference. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks, Pablo. So I, after being in the industry for a really long time, I decided to build CRE Capital, where we can be a resource to all your commercial clients, on the real estate side. So we finance every type of property that's commercial. We do multifamily as long as it's over 5 units. That's when it's considered commercial. We do retail shopping centers. We do office. We do hotels, motels, assisted living, car dealerships. We do pretty much every type of asset that you can think of. We just closed on a gas station on Friday for 9.8 million. So we have a very strong, background on the commercial side. And then we also have different types of loan programs for them as well, which makes it very, very attractive for you guys, right? To be able to provide that to your clients. We do bridge loans. We do fix and flip loans. We do SBA loans. I know a lot of you guys have reached out to me about SBA loans for owner occupied borrowers. And then we also do, I mean, we do every type of loan program as well. And like Pablo mentioned, I'm happy to be partnered up with you guys, and most importantly, be a resource. This is why we decided to offer this over to you guys, because constantly we were receiving calls, emails, messages. Hey, I have this, I have this commercial client that wants to buy this building, but I know nothing about commercial because all I've done is residential. Well, now we have a resource for you guys. Now we are able to help, and we have made it so we have made it so easy for you guys to either you want to submit your scenario, you submit it through the portal, or if you want to learn, then you can also take our coaching program that we offer, where we teach you how to do it step by step, how to videos, how to step by steps on everything. And not just that, but we also provide resources, cash flow calculators, how to size a multifamily property, how to cash flow an owner occupied SBA deal, and also what lenders to take it to, right? Where to take it, how to do it. And this is why, a lot of you guys, some of you guys are not going to want to, learn how to do it. You just want to take it somewhere and have them figure it out, right? But then we also have, the residential lenders that want to learn it. And now you have that, you have those tools and resources. When I first started in the industry, I knew nothing about commercial, 14 years ago. And it was hard because nobody was willing to teach me. And so now that we have this available for you guys, it just makes it so much easier for you to really have that, have that knowledge and those tools and resources for you guys. And I saw somewhere on a message asking about nonprofits. We do nonprofits as well. As you guys know, I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but nonprofits are a little bit more challenging. There's a lot more documentation that is needed, but we do also finance nonprofits, churches as well. We've financed a few churches. So yeah, we do every type of asset type, and we do every type of loan program as well. And this is where we're here to teach you guys, to really be a resource for you guys. And this is why we wanted to partner up to make sure that you guys have that option. I know a lot of you guys have, I mean, most of your clients are residential, but now you're able to ask those questions like, hey, I know I did your mortgage, I know I did your home loan, but if you have a business and if you've been considering, if you've been considering buying, please, reach out to us. We now have resources to help you do that. And that's how you kind of start to tap into the commercial side, is just really asking those questions. Or hey, if they have duplexes, triplexes, fourplexes already, like, hey, have you considered buying a 10 unit or a 6 unit? We now have resources to help you with your commercial needs as well, not just your residential. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to leave money on the table. If you're not taking care of your clients, somebody else is going to take care of them. That's the bottom line. And you don't want that. You want to be able to house them since you're already doing the residential stuff for them. So it's just a matter of asking the right questions and really being that resource for them, that one-stop shop. And so this is why it's important for us to do that. And yes, we have done some portfolio lending as well. It just really depends on the scenario, how strong the borrower is, the experience, all that good stuff. But yes, we also do that as well. So thank you guys for your questions. I love this. Sorry, let me check here. I have questions here on the chat. So anyway, so that's a little bit about, what we do and how we're able to help you guys out through the coaching platform. You will learn how to do SBA. I mean, how to do every type of loan and every type of loan program. We have, like I mentioned, the how-to videos, but most importantly, where to find them, how to ask the right questions, and how to really position your scenarios, right? What financials, for example, SBA loans, we require 3 years business taxes, 3 years personal taxes. If the business is not cash flowing, which I know sometimes that tends to happen, where they feel like they can't buy because they haven't cash flowed in the past 2 to 3 years, that's okay. We can still finance it by going projection based. So it's just a matter of really familiarizing yourself with what we're able to offer. I know Shelly has been doing such a great job at sending us, her scenarios, and she's learning as she goes. And it's a matter of asking the right questions, right? But just know that, of course, we do now offer it, and you can now be a resource to your borrower. I'm going to pause really quick. I know I probably went too
No, that's
fast. If you guys
no,
have
that's
any,
okay. The whole goal is to introduce you. And I mean,
of
for
course.
me personally, my experience has been that, I'm, since I'm not looking for commercial, I would come across, maybe like I'm doing a loan for one of my bars that's a mechanic, and they actually own the mechanic shop. That they're self-employed, they own the mechanic shop. And I don't even think about asking, because I know that's not my area. I don't even say, hey, can I check your interest rate to see if I can get you a better interest rate? And this is really what we're trying to do here, is just kind of open you up to more opportunities. Now, and I just wouldn't do that, because I just didn't think, oh my God, I don't want to, dive into this whole animal, because, there's environmental reports, there's this, there's that, soil, this, and it seems overwhelming. And I just, I like my AUS, I like running my DU, my LPA, getting my approvals, knowing that I'm kind of in control of those residential approvals, and I can do everything on my fingertips. And I know with the commercial, there's a lot of outside factors that can, make or break the deal. And there's so much heavy lifting you have to do to even put a deal together, right? So I didn't want to preoccupy my time too much when I already had momentum going on the residential. Closing 10, 20, 30 residential loans, I don't have time to figure out this whole thing. And you might find yourself in that situation, right? You might find yourself in a situation where you want to learn more about doing commercial. It maybe excites you. Maybe you're in a place or in a position where you're exposed to more commercial opportunities. So that may work for you. So so we want to put that out there and just start getting the team to start thinking about these opportunities that may exist, that we all may be overlooking. I know I'm guilty of it. I've always done it. I've either passed them along, or partner with another LO and try to make a little something, just so that I could have someone that I knew involved in the deal with one of my bars. But anyhow, so what we've done for you really quick, while you guys, are gathering your questions, go ahead and put them on the chat. We'll open it up for some more questions right now. I'll just show you guys on the portal where we've put this for you guys, so that it's so you guys can see where you can find this at. So let me go ahead and share my screen. I don't know, and then Rachel, I don't know if you've already seen this, but so this is our portal here. And I think our IT connected with your IT team, right? So that where you're gonna find them, and you guys can see my screen, right? I just want to make sure you see it.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
this is the main page. You're gonna go to where it says loan tools. and it's gonna be under lender list. And that's where we have all our lenders. And you're gonna find CR Capital right here, which says expertise and customized solutions in commercial lending. And it's gonna be almost like the scenario desk where you click on here and you're filling out this form and you're giving all the details about the property, right? And I think you guys get in touch, they'll get in touch with you this way. And you guys can get, I guess, the process started and all that good stuff, but it's gonna be in here. Now, again, you know, we're not trying to take nothing away from you guys. You guys all have the ability to do 100% your own commercial deals, right? And keep your current splits, of course. But you know, when you get something complicated, you got to get an expert involved, and you know, it's really time consuming for themselves as well. So, you know, we put something together with Rachel that I think is going to work for those allos that are just want to save time and don't want to be heavily involved in the transaction. And so it's going to be in here. It's live. It's ready to go. Rachel and her team are ready to help you guys and support you on anything that you may have. And then I guess you're also open to having conversations, right, with with anyone that might be a little bit more interested. And then maybe talk a little bit about your coaching program and how that, you know, what the participation and what the outcome could be. Is the outcome where you can just be a good commercial lender?
Yeah, of course, absolutely. So for the coaching program, we built it out to really teach you guys step by step on how to get the deals done. It gives you, you know, an 8-step process on the how-tos of how to get a commercial loan from point A to point Z. And so it also provides videos. It provides, you know, all the information that you need. A lot of you guys, I know you guys have struggled with, you know, the acronyms, the basic terminology of commercial. A lot of you guys don't know what an appraisal or an environmental report is, or you know, when you're sending something and trying to get a deal done, like, oh, send an LOI. Well, what's an LOI? So all this stuff is broken down for you guys, so you guys have access to it, and you guys could really start getting familiar with the commercial side. As you guys know, commercial is, I see it as it's very, very different from residential. This is more of like a numbers type of game, really, so to speak. And so it's important that you guys, if you guys are trying to do commercial, that you understand the process, that you understand, you know, what needs to be done, what needs to be collected, the terminology, the you know, who to take it to, the how-tos, the stuff that you should be, you know, avoiding, asking the right questions and things like that. And this is where it's all in the commercial, in the training, in the coaching training. And so the reason why we built this out was because we were constantly receiving messages, emails, like I mentioned to you guys earlier, from you guys asking about getting a deal done. And then the first thing is like, well, what are the commission splits? Well, now with the coaching program, you do it yourself. And then you guys, you know, whatever commissions you guys already have, you know, with Equity Smart, that all stays the same. It's basically just adding to your platform. That's really all you're doing. And through this coaching program, you're learning everything from the beginning to the end on how to do it, how to house it, what lenders to take it through, and just really collecting the right information and asking the right questions. And so, you know, everything is there for you guys to you know, to help you guys out. So this is more so just to add to your plate, not to take anything away, but more so to just start housing everything, you know, so your client doesn't have to go elsewhere. If you already have a client that owns multiple, you know, residential properties, and now is starting to, you know, jump into the commercial, which you will start to see a lot, is a lot of investors, they're like, okay, I've done, you know, the residential, I've done a lot of loans. Now I want to start tapping into the commercial space. Well, guess what? Now you can help them with that as well. They don't have to go to, you know, somebody else for those commercial needs. Now they have you to be a resource on both. And honestly, I've had residential lenders multiple times. I've had residential lenders that have came to me, Rachel, I need you to help me rescue this deal. I thought I could do commercial. I thought it was, you know, it would be straightforward. I took it to this lender and now the lender's not performing. And now we're getting ready to they're gonna lose their good faith deposit because we're supposed to close in 2 weeks, and the lender is saying they're gonna take another 2 months, and we don't know where we are. So this is why it's important to know what you're doing, to know that you know what asking the right questions, right? What's important to your client? Are they rate sensitive? Are they loan to value sensitive? Do they need to close at a certain time? Because commercial, it can take anywhere from 45 to 60 business days to close a deal. So it takes a while. So this is why a lot of residential lenders, they rather just submit the scenario and have somebody else take care of it and work it, because it takes a long time. And some of you are like, no, you know what? I want to start learning it, because the payout is that it does take a long time, but the payout is also great. You can make great money, doing the commercial loans, but you have to have patience and you have to have knowledge. And this is what we're here to give you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Rachel. So let's get right into the questions. I'll go ahead and read them off from the chat box here. And I'll start from the very top. Palm Springs in California, by the way. Let me go down to, we do church loans. Yes, Rachel did say that. Nonprofit, I think we talked about that. Portfolio, you talked about that. SBA loans. So just to clear up the confusion, SBA is for business loans, right? You have to be operating a business, because I think Hugo put on here about commercial. If you have a multi-unit, 6 units, you're not going to do apartment buildings, right? That's not considered a business, right?
No, so that's considered multifamily.
Yeah, it's going to be a regular commercial. The SBA is, you have to be operating, you have to own the real estate and be operating a business out of that real estate. And I think you have to, the occupancy has to be at least what, 51%, right?
That's correct. Yes.
And then the rest can be tenants. So you're buying, like, for
Correct.
example, a plaza, and you have a restaurant and you're the owner and you want to buy the whole plaza, and maybe there's like a few other retail shops there, then you at least have to occupy 51% of the square footage, correct?
That is correct, of the total square footage of that building that you're buying. And then I'll give you guys a quick example. Shelly just sent me a referral last week regarding her client. They're looking to purchase a laundromat. So they've never owned one. They have managed one. They do have that experience, but they've never actually owned one. They can still buy one as long as whatever they're buying, they've been operating for at least over 2 years, and we're able to see business tax returns. So they don't necessarily need to, for example, if your borrower wants to buy a restaurant, but they've never in their life owned a restaurant, that's okay. As long as they've managed one, we're okay with it. And as long as that restaurant is operating and we're able to see at least 2 years of business taxes, we're able to finance it.
Yeah, and I want you guys to think of the SBA loan, because by the way, I did an SBA loan on one of the first small buildings that we bought at Equity Smart. I bought it, and I think I only put 15 or 10% down, right?
That's correct.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you can come in with as little as 10% down. Sometimes, I mean, obviously you don't want to offer this, but I mean, there have been times where I've had a borrower come in with 0% down, but we used one of their properties as a cross collateral. Some people, they don't want it, they want to keep their liquidity, and they have a lot of equity in a lot of their properties. So they're like, you know what, just use this building that I already own free and clear. It has a lot of equity. Use that as a cross collateral, and that way we don't come in with anything. So there's ways. The one thing that I love about CRE Capital, and this is what we really took pride in, is getting creative with the loans, with the deals, making sure that we're a resource for not just your A paper client that has great credit and great liquidity and great cash flow. We're able to get creative for everybody. We do hard money loans and bridge loans that can help bridge out those gaps of borrowers that don't have that type of experience.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And another cool thing that happened that you just reminded me is that SBA loan, it is a government loan, right? It's like an FHA. Think of it like an FHA for commercial.
Exactly.
And during COVID, they paid all my payments. I didn't ask them to do it. They automatically paid for like a whole year, the rent or the mortgage payment. which I thought was cool, and I didn't have to pay it back. I didn't have to sign up for anything, and it was just like a blessing during that time. And just because I had that loan, so just wanted to throw in that side note in there. But anyhow, let's continue on here. Commercial deals for foreign nationals. I'm imagining yes, that's an obvious yes, right? That
Correct.
okay, cool. How competitive are rates with lenders such as Chase? How competitive are we on the broker side compared to banks? That's I guess that's what the question is. And this
We
of
can be, we can definitely
Martin.
be competitive. We can, we can definitely be competitive. I mean, we've worked with Chase. I mean, I used to work at Chase myself, so I know what they could do and what they can do. The one thing that you'll realize with bigger banks, they are very they're very restricted and they like, certain things. Yes, we're nationwide for that
And it's all going to
message.
depend too. Rates are all determined by property type and all.
Correct.
Yeah.
Rates are all going to depend on the scenario. But to answer your question, yes, we can be competitive. It just really depends on the scenario.
And from my experience, even in the residential side, Chase Bank, when they're doing all these jumbo loans that they blow us out of the water in, like we can't even compete. These loans are super hard to get. Like people think like, oh well, Wells Fargo's offering, a 2 point whatever, right? When the rates were low. And I remember applying for a loan with Wells Fargo, and they have something called global income, which is crazy. So even though you report tons of income, if you don't actually take the income, they don't count it. And they have all these weird rules. And that's why we have all of our own jumbo products and stuff like that, because very few people can actually fit the box of the banks, because the banks are going to be a lot more stricter than some of the bankers that we work with out here. So and I'm sure you experience the same thing. All right.
Yeah, exactly. And just to kind of add really quick, because I just saw something about I just saw a message about vacant land. So when it comes to vacant land, it does get a little bit tricky, right? At the end of the day, what the lender wants to see is what are they doing with that vacant land? Are they building something? And if so, then at this point, are they looking for a construction loan to finance the land and build out whatever they're trying to build, right? There has to be a story to everything. Commercial always comes with a story. We need to know the full scenario and the full story of exactly what's happening. We can finance land, but again, it can get pretty tricky. It just really depends on what they're planning on doing with that land. Where is the area? Where is it located? If it's a piece of land and they just want 100,000, probably not. We're probably not going to want to finance that. And on the commercial side, just across the board, anything below 500,000 gets very, very challenging to find the capital for. Anything, that's why our loans, and you're rarely gonna see, unless it's like, in the Inland Empire or somewhere, out in the outskirts, you're not gonna find any commercial property below 500,000. So you don't really have to worry about it. However, just to kind of give you just to kind of give you some information around that. When it comes to 500,000 and below, it gets really, really hard to finance because not only is it riskier, but it's a lot more work for everybody, especially for the banks and for all the lenders. So they tend to pull away from it unless this borrower is like super, they have a rich portfolio and they just need like a small, 250 one-off, then we can probably get it done. But it does get a little bit more challenging. We like to see loans anywhere between 1 million and above, which, as I mentioned, you're not really going to find any commercial properties that are purchased, below the 1 million.
Gotcha. All right. Thank you for that. That's good feedback. All right, Walter, you have a question? Walter from Coachella?
Okay, so I have a client in Texas who built a shopping center, who occupies part of it, has like a banquet hall that she rents out. Challenge is she built it from the ground up, probably worth a couple $1 million now. She's looking to refinance, but she's an I-10. So is that like a foreign national loan, or what kind of loan? She wants to refi to pull some money out. She has additional property she'd like to go ahead and build on. What would be a suggestion or a scenario that
You cut off a little bit, but you said, so she's looking to do a refinance. So who holds the note right now?
Yeah, but I think the main question is, I think he's asking is because she's I-10. So I think that the big question here is, can we handle I-10 borrowers, correct?
We can work around it. I would need to know the full scenario. For example, right now I have one. I don't know why I'm echoing. Can you guys hear me?
Oh yeah, you can mute yourself. I think we're getting feedback from your mic.
There we go. So yes, we can. We just have to really, get creative on the scenario, right? Right now I have one. I'll give you an example. A residential lender has one where it's the wife and the husband. The wife has the I-10, but the husband is, he has, the paper, he has everything. So we're doing it. We're changing the ownership to reflect on the husband as 100% ownership, and that's how we're able to do the loan. So yeah, we can definitely get creative as well.
Gotcha. And you know what? And if you guys have complex scenarios, let's do that. I guess fill out the form, get in touch with us. We don't want to get bogged down this presentation with scenarios, because I'm sure you guys have tons, and I'm excited to hear that you guys have scenarios, because that's the whole purpose of having this partnership here with Rachel. So let's continue with the questioning that's not too scenario specific. We'll provide you all of Rachel's contact information and the best ways to get a hold of her, and she can make time. And I know there's questions about your coaching, the cost and all that. And I think you could share that with them if you want to do a one-on-one call.
Yeah.
She has to customize it, or unless you want to say something about that.
I could let me put the website on here so you guys can take a look at it. And if you guys have any further questions, you can, feel free to reach out. Let me just put it on here. That way everybody has it and you guys are able to check it out. So I just put it on the chat box, crecapitalfinders.com. So that's the website. And if you guys have any questions, like I mentioned, you guys are more than happy to, feel free to reach out, send me an email or give me a call. I always try to make myself available. One thing that I do ask of you guys is, if you guys do have a scenario, please add as much information as possible and add as much supporting documents as possible as well. That way we understand in full detail exactly what's going on. And that way we're able to help the client better.
Okay, awesome. And yes, anything commercial, I think Pete has a scenario there with land and construction. And he's seeing a lot of growth in the community. Yes, it's as long as it's commercial, she's going to be able to assist. It's just a matter of getting all the details, and same thing like in residential, just pre-qualifying the bar, making sure that they have the ability to purchase the assets and all that good stuff. There's another question here. What about a non-business individual wants to buy a warehouse for personal use?
What? I'm sorry?
A non-business individual wants to buy a warehouse for personal use?
No, so it has to be they have to either have a business or they're starting a business, but they have to have an LLC, a corporation. They have to have some type of commercial entity.
Yeah. So then you maybe present it in a way where it seems like maybe they're doing a hobby, but then they're going to eventually turn it into a business. So
exactly.
As long as the lender feels comfortable, right?
Exactly. Again, as long as we're painting the picture to the underwriter of exactly what's happening, that's the importance. That's what's key. You want it. That's why I ask that you guys add as much detail as possible to be able to get it through. And then again, I know there was another question regarding the training. I put the link, or I put the website on there so that way you guys could see it. Can be combined duplex with a restaurant. Yes, that's considered a mixed use property, and yes, we can do that. Absolutely.
Awesome. All right. Well, I think we've gotten all the information. If you guys are interested in learning more about commercial, like I said, get in touch with Rachel. Why don't you put your social media handles in there too? Maybe your Instagram, they can start following you. I know you put a lot of good content out there. And anything else, any other way of getting a hold of you? Maybe your email? We'll share that with you guys too after the call. Is there any state that you don't assist in, or as long as it's within the US, you're able to help, correct?
Correct. That's correct.
Gotcha. Awesome. That's good to know. And by the way, Rachel's back and forth from Florida to California. So she's both in Florida and California. That's good to know. All right. Thank you so much. Any last words, any closing thoughts before we finish?
I had a quick question, Pablo.
Go ahead, Martin.
Thanks for the presentation.
Of
My
course.
question is, I have a gentleman that I kind of was pushing him to go into residential because he got turned down a couple of times. He has 6 semi trucks. He was looking for land so he can build, so he can store those semi trucks when he needs to. So on that one, if he actually gets dual like residential and land for that, is that going to qualify?
So does he have a business? Is he operating
Yes.
a
Yeah,
business?
he's making like 900,000 a year.
Yeah, he's a
That's
trucking,
perfect.
it's a trucking company, so he wants to be able to park his cars in that
Yeah,
land,
we
right?
just did one not too long ago where it was just a land, but we did an SBA loan on it for I believe he came in with 15% down if I'm not mistaken. So we can go SBA on that. Absolutely.
Perfect. And then one other different question is, if I get you rates of what, like a $3 and $12 million commercial loan that's been approved already,
Mm-hmm.
you guys try to match it if you can,
Yeah,
or
send it to me and we can see what we can do. Absolutely. Of course. Send me all the supporting documents and the LOI that they already have with what was offered, and I'll see if we can beat it. And then another thing, just really quick to go back on that piece of land. Just an FYI, you guys, it's always best if there's some type of building on that land. It could be a small little shed, whatever it is, but as long as there's like a small building or something there, that's always very helpful, especially if they're just, doing the trucks, if they're just parking the trucks there, that's fine. But what SBA wants to see is like, okay, well, if it's in fact an actual business, we want to see some type of building where that's their office that they're operating out of. Does that make sense? It's not just a vacant piece of land where they're just parking trucks.
All right, well, thank you guys so much for participating in this one. Hopefully this gets you excited about commercial. And again, you could take this as deep as you want. You can just refer it over. You don't want to be involved. That's what I'm gonna do, by the way, because I just don't got time and I don't want to muscle through a whole file, maybe a complex one, and get, because once you get knee deep into a file, you can't get out of it. So you find yourself having to communicate with everyone, get the file done, and it could be extremely time consuming. So just be aware of that, right? It's just, especially the more complex the commercial property is, the more, I'm sure, the more turbulence and the more obstacles you're going to face, and you got to be ready and equipped to be able to deal with that. The most easiest basic one, and you guys can do it now, is a multifamily residential. We have lenders that you can work with now, and it's very similar to what we're doing on the residential. But anything outside of that, talk to Rachel. I think she'll be the go-to. And then again, you could learn from her. And if it's an area that you want to niche, grow, and become an expert in, then you have that path now. We've created that path for you guys to be able to do that. If you find yourself that's going to be a great place for you to grow your income. Thank you, Rachel, so much. Any closing words for us? Anything you want to say before we let you go?
Just if you've been considering doing commercial, now is the time. I mean, it's always it's always great to I mean, you don't have to master commercial, but as long as you get that knowledge and the basics, it will really take you a long way, and it'll really start to open a lot of doors for you guys. So why not, tap into both and be a resource for both, not just your residential. That way, you guys could really leverage that and take advantage of these tools that we have available for you guys. Definitely worked really hard to put it together to make it very easy for you guys to understand. So definitely take advantage of that.
Yeah, and keep in mind, most people that own businesses or commercial property, they're gonna own their house they live in. So, it's opportunity on both sides of the fence for you. So take advantage of that. All right, team, thank you so much. I know this is not a long one. We're gonna finish this one a little earlier. Rachel is in with Reach now. You can reach her through our website. She's giving you her website. And we'll also give you all her contact information so you can reach out with her. And she's a smart gal. I mean, I'm so impressed with her that and speaking with you guys will feel the same way. So Rachel, thank you so much for
Thank
taking.
you so much. I truly
Thank you.
appreciate it.